Cops say he was caught on camera last Friday morning in Harlem at a subway station beating.
This is getting out of damn control.
Game to win. Game hard.
What's going on, y'all? Nick here, coming to you with another video. And I got my special guest today, TJ Clemens. Woo!
Yes, sir.
Alright, man. So we got a very interesting one here because apparently there was an arrest made of a white man who apparently beat a 60-year-old black woman. Alright, check this one out.
Like Donald Trump says, it's fake news. It's only one-sided.
Hitting the victim in that video. The detectives are confident they got the right guy. The 42-year-old has a history of mental illness and about a half dozen arrests logged on his rap sheet, according to police. Cops say he was caught on camera last Friday morning in Harlem at a subway station beating a 60-year-old woman dozens of times using a cane, a belt, and his foot to render her helpless on the ground. From her hospital bed, the victim told me she asked for help carrying her belongings up the steps when the stranger suddenly snapped. A station agent filmed the entire 3-minute ordeal and called for help. However, there is now an internal NYPD investigation into why officers didn't arrest Blake on the spot.
The NYPD was notified immediately and they arrived on the scene promptly. What happened after that is obviously under discussion, but that station agent did exactly what we want.
The IAB is examining actively what was the role of the police officers that responded as well as the supervisors that responded. There's currently an active investigation that did not start after the story was reported. It started on, I believe, Saturday when we first got wind of this.
Whew. That's a lot to take in, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's your initial thoughts when you see this?
Well, anything coming from the news media, you have to be very careful of what you take in. Now, they've mastered this thing of only giving bits and pieces of a story to make you think a certain way. So when I hear it, I'm like, okay, so she asked for help up the stairs, and then my man just said, hell nah, give me that cane, and started working her. Then the people in the police department saying, I think I heard the first gentleman said they were notified immediately, and then the second dude said something about they heard it or they got the information the following day, because they said that happened on a Friday.
Right.
If correct me if I'm wrong. I don't want to say that if I misheard, but there's like 2 different time frames of when the police are potentially getting involved. Then they paint a picture of, okay, yeah, this guy has a long rap sheet and he got mental illness. Then he's white and then he's beating on a black woman. And then they said all she asked for was help, but then we don't really hear her. Like, is there more to the story? You know what I mean? Like, it's just bits and pieces taken out. So to me, automatically, I'm like, yeah, I don't like to see nobody, especially elderly people, getting beat up on. But anytime it comes to a woman, I don't care how old or young she is, getting hands laid on her, I have to ask the question, what did she do? Or not even what did she do. More than likely what gets a lot of women in trouble most of the time is this. So I gotta say, what did she say and or what did she do? But I'm gonna go with the what did she say.
What did she say? Alright. So this is very interesting to me personally because there's so much ground to cover. So first thing I want to just, piggyback off what you said, especially in regards to how the media would try to spin things a certain way.
Absolutely.
Right? Now, before I say this, right, let me preface my statement by saying this, right? Like, does anybody deserve to get beat down, especially an elderly woman? No, right? Like, I don't know what she may have said or may have done. I don't think it warrants, according to the video, the altercation it was over a space of 3 minutes. And 2 of the minutes, this man was just, railing on her. I'm going to leave the link to that video so you can see it for yourselves. I'm not going to show it on my video because I want to actually get this video monetized. But what you got to understand, right, is that a lot of times what they'll do is incite this type of race war. I've showed it on my channel before where, you had that old man at the grocery store. It was a white old man, and he's here fighting this black woman. Why this took place, nobody knows. But this white man got his face rocked. That's all we do know. Now, in this situation, it's literally the reverse. This time, the youth is the white man, and now you have this old black woman. And it's just like, why is it white men beating up on black women? Or at least attempting to. What is this going on? And this is starting to become a pattern that I'm starting to see in society. It's almost like it screams slavery to me. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And I don't understand, like, is this the norm? That we have white men beating up on black women? And here's the thing, right? There's some of y'all, because it happens all the time in every single video I do. There's always going to be this one asinine comment of a dude that's going to actually see things the complete bizarre way. And they're going to say, well, she did this and that. And it's like, I hear you. But this is an elderly woman. Are we literally going to take a cane? If you watch the original video, he beats this woman to the point where the cane breaks. And then after the cane breaks, he proceeds to actually beat her up with his hands and starts kicking her. I mean, I don't know how I could justify that. I don't know what she could have said, but I don't know how it could be justified.
Right.
But I will say this, though. Is it me, or are we starting to see a trend where men are starting to feel more comfortable to put their hands on women?
I don't know that we're seeing a trend. There's nothing new under the sun.
Okay.
So it's probably being more publicized now, maybe, but to be real, men been putting their hands on women for centuries.
True.
For years. So we can't say that it's a new thing or it's a new trend. You also have to take it back to the woman, because even though men may have been putting their hands on women for centuries and years, we also know, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, men may have been doing it. There may have been issues with the men, and maybe, the women's mouth back then, still may have been out of line. Whatever. I'm not saying that a man should still be putting his hands on the woman, but the quality of women we have today, how they behave, how they carry themselves, how they talk to men, how they deal with men today. We got the whole feminist movement. Yeah. Saying, oh, we don't need men. Men ain't shit. Men ain't this. Men ain't that. Men ain't this. And then you got this stuff going into the minds of women to where they standing up toe to toe with a man who is physically built greater than them. Now, again, like I said, men have been putting their hands on women for centuries. We don't condone that. So it's not anything new, but we have to try to find an answer to the question as to why men are doing this. Right. What is triggering a man to make him ball up his fist or open his hand and slap a woman or beat up on a woman who he know she can't really defend? Right. These are just the things I have to wonder, because when I look at the quality of woman we have today in 2023, it's like, I gotta be careful how I say this. I'll probably say this off here, but it's
you ain't shit. You ain't shit.
I'm not gonna
you
say
broke. You a scrub.
I'm not gonna say they deserve to get. If they get slapped, it's like, oh, you might have deserved that. I don't know. It's not something I would personally do. It's not something Nick would do. But if it happens, it's like, What did you say or do to that man to get him to a state or a level to him to be beating on you? Now, again, there's not, to me personally, there's not enough information put out about this situation, because it's like an elderly person, hey, can you help me bring my belongings up the stairs? Hell nah, give me that cane.
But I mean, I'm sure you heard about the woman that got hit with the brick, right?
Oh, brick chick.
Yeah. I mean, this girl, she started off, I'm sure she got most of us, right? She came out saying that, a man asked her for her number, and she said no. And that's the reason why she had a huge knot on her face. And lo and behold, more information came out, and apparently she was smacking white men, right? And again, does it warrant getting hit with a brick? No. But I will say this though, is like, this is why I don't want to rush to conclusions.
Yeah.
I will say this though, right? I was watching a video from Willie D, and he was actually saying that, you know, it's a dangerous thing when we as men think that it's not okay to come to the defense of women. Like there's this mindset that, you know, you only protect your own. And he was saying that it was a dangerous mindset, because if every man adopts that mindset, what may happen is, you know, us men, you know, we got to go to work, right, eventually. And in moments like that, you know, you're not going to be with your woman all the time.
Right.
So in those moments, what happens when your woman now is in a situation where a man is attacking her? Wouldn't you wish that there was another man around? You get what I'm saying? But if everybody has the mindset, well, hey, I'm staying back, then, you know, who knows what could happen to that woman, right?
Right.
Now, this is why, me personally, I'm going to tell you straight up, right? Like, one thing that we need to understand is that this took place in New York City. I'm from New York, born and raised, Brooklyn. And I know that place is batshit crazy. Now, why am I even saying this, right? The location is absolutely important. There's a reason why, 100%. When you become rich, many times people tend to leave the hood. They tend to leave these places, right? Because you are going to be a product of your environment, whether you believe so or not. Now, in the Bible, it says, come out of her. Come out of her. You see, if more people had the mindset to actually just follow the Bible, link up with people with like mind, you know what I'm saying? Flee the cities, right? Then the thing is, you're not going to be dealing with the quote-unquote crazy person next door, because you already had curated who's your neighbor.
Yes.
Am I making sense?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That you made a comment saying like, okay, you know, if a man go off to work, like, he may have to worry about what happens if his woman gets in a situation where she may have to defend herself and there's no man around, because you're saying like, okay, society has become to a place where like, okay, women may be getting beat on and men are not going to jump in. Well, it's not something we have to necessarily worry about, because we don't live in population centers like this where you're rubbing shoulders with a whole bunch of people who are selfish, self-focused, worried about themselves. They're worried about their own things, and they're not caring about anybody else around them. So what can you expect in those situations? So, you know, I say that's something we don't necessarily worry about, you know, our women, even in the ministry, being in any kind of danger like that, because they're where they're supposed to be. So, it's hard to relate, because we're so removed from living like that. You know what I mean? In those kind of places. But I get it. People are where they are, you know?
Yeah. Now, you see, I would like to kind of land the plane on this, right? You kind of mentioned that, you know, our women are where they're supposed to be. Now, let me provide a lifeline for some of you guys, right? Because, you see, the thing is, it's easy to talk about our women, but, you know, majority of women in the world, modern women, 304s, a lot of times the place that they want to be is those cities, right?
Right.
They love that luxurious lifestyle. They don't want to actually sacrifice their modern conveniences, you get what I'm saying, and actually live, you know, in the woods or whatever the case may be, because they think that it's too such a lifestyle is too demeaning, right? Now, here's the thing, right? As you're choosing to live in these cities, you're choosing to live with a bunch of heathens, right? Rubbing elbows with heathens and pagans out there. And this is what I'm talking about, right? You're more susceptible to getting bricked in the face.
Yes.
You're more susceptible to a man who, he's crazy, taking the cane of an elderly woman and literally smashing her for 2 minutes. I mean, have you ever done any boxing? To exert energy, even one of the drills they make us do in boxing is to literally throw punches for just 1 minute.
That's the longest 1 minute of life.
Thank you. You feel exhausted, right? Let alone 2 minutes of just straight railing on someone. I mean, that means this guy had a lot of premeditative thought in this attack of this elderly woman, right? Again, I'm not justifying it. I'm not here to necessarily say, this woman did nothing wrong, right? But what I am saying is that you increase the likelihood of you being just totally attacked and being a victim when you live in these shitholes called the cities.
Yeah. I have to say this, bro, because I've lived in the so-called hood. Like I said, I was born in New York as well. Moved to New Jersey when I was young, so I've seen it, been around. Even in those situations, man, like you come across all kind of people. People who you can say, yeah, he ain't in his right mind, or she ain't in her right mind. They're on drugs, they're on this, they're gangsters, whatever the case is. And even still, you can walk past these people, you don't gotta say nothing, and folks just don't trip and trigger. Now, like I'm saying, I want to know more about the story, because I want to know, okay, is that when was the last time he beat up on the elderly lady that happened to be black, or just be elderly? Was there somebody weeks before who reported, okay, there was a man at the subway station or in this place? Because some people repeat behaviors.
Yeah, but I think they did say he had like a rap sheet, right?
They say he had a rap sheet, but what's on the rap sheet?
Okay.
They say he had mental illness, and he had a rap sheet, like, I don't know if he had 12 counts, whatever. But they didn't say what was it.
Right.
We don't know. So I want to know more. But going back to something you said earlier, we're about the society being where men aren't even, stepping up to defend women. Now, it probably was 2016. I'll never do this again, ever. I was in Chicago, and I went there on a little vacate. I don't even call it vacate. Just went out to Chicago to chill. It was like a bye week or whatever. We had time off, so I just went to Chicago.
Right.
I get out there, bro. We in the city. My ex-wife at the time, she's driving. And I don't remember where we was going. We was going somewhere. And I see a man roughing up a woman on the side of the road at night. Now, granted, there's a whole bunch of people just walking back and forth. Like you see the people just ignore it. I say, hey, stop the car. I jump out trying to be Superman. I get in the middle of the two. I say, hey, what's going on? Because I see this man getting physical with the woman. They calm down. Because it's like, okay, God, now whatever we got going on, there's a big black man in between us who just popped out of nowhere. They stopped. They seemed calm. I was like, all right, cool. I need to chill out. I get back in the car. As soon as I get back in the car, I see the female. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, okay, all right. Understood. Understood. Never doing that again.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting here thinking she's getting,
right,
working. But as soon as I leave, I see she now goes back. She's antagonizing the dude in public.
You know what I thought you were going to say? I thought you were going to say that when you try to break it up, the woman had the nerve to be like, let go of him. Just don't do that.
No, they both went silent. They was quiet. Just quiet, like, okay, all right, what do we do? This guy's holding on to both of us out. I'm not in the middle of him like this. And I was like, yeah, I'm never again. So with that being said, a lot of men are going to watch situations if a woman is being harmed. Like, I can't jump in. Why? Because some way, somehow, the way this system is set up, the man who came to save the day is going to end up in a situation where he, even if he's doing the right thing, he's going to come out on the wrong end of the stick, some way, somehow. So now guys know, like, bro, I'm not about to save nobody. Everybody for themselves. Because if I go in there and help, if I see a woman getting beat up, something may happen to me. I may end up in jail by stepping in.
Yeah.
Police come and they see me fighting, thinking I'm involved, but I was really just trying to save her, and then they not trying to hear my story. Now I'm behind bars. So men are not gonna be quick to jump in. That's why with the brick chick, brother, folks are just like, yeah, nah, watch, and she's all mad, like, oh, all these men around, they ain't helping. No, I don't know that guy. I don't know if he has a gun. If he hits you with a brick, what do you think he'll do to me? You know what I mean? He's like, I don't know what he's capable of. I'm not gonna get involved.
Man.
So that's why you're gonna see more men standing on the sidelines, and all these women that say, "Oh, we don't need men." All right, cool. Men, they gonna sit just like this. Watch you get bashed over the head with a brick, like the other chick. So now again, back to the 60-year-old woman, and I feel like this is something the news is trying to just push out there to, again, create something of a race war subconsciously in the minds of the people, potentially.
You see, but this is why I said, is this a trend, right? Because I can't help but feel like when I was growing up, right, when we used to actually say it takes a village to raise a child, right, and when there was some remote, resemblance of a community, I can't help but feel like that would have been the innate and natural thing for men to do it. Like, notice what you said. You came to the defense of that woman because you're looking at it like, yo, this dude is roughing her up.
Yeah.
So let me, you know what I'm saying? Help out. That's how a lot of men were raised back in the day. And that's why I'm very confused. Or rather, I'm not really confused. More so, I'm starting to see that there's been such a history. There have been such a history of women literally just talking so much shit. Talking bad about patriarchy. Talking about how feminism is the way to go. Talking about how they would rather be lesbians than, deal with men. The list goes on and on. And that's why I was kind of making that joke earlier, like, you ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? And then they put the finger in the guy's face and they do all these things to the point where it's just like, you're really stripping out the chivalry that was once in men. Right? That natural, like, I want to protect women, it's starting to be stripped away from men because it's just like, why even come to the defense of this woman when, suppose if I'm becoming the victim now, you know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm saying. It's like, I can't help but feel like this is all designed in such a way, like you have like the red pill and MGTOW, how they talk so bad about women, and then you have the feminists, they talking so bad about the men. It's like they creating, not only is this a race thing, like in the situation that we seen here, but it's also like this gender war. Like, what is this beef between the man and the woman? And I personally believe it stems from, women. And like, for example, how many times you've always seen girls back in the day, they would be mega close with like the gay man.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, how is that serving you now? Because you were so close with the gay man, now it got to the point where the gay man actually think that they can outdo you women.
Being a woman.
By being a woman. And now you have, I've cut, and sometimes you probably are wondering, like, why do I cover these topics on my channel? I cover it for a reason because, like, you have this dude, Leah Thomas, the transgender athlete, and he's swimming and competing against white dude.
Okay.
Competing against biological women. You have, again, transgender athletes breaking the deadlift competition. And you guys don't see the signs? They creating this race war, right? Meanwhile, real men, like us, we have no issue with women. We don't hate women. We're not, bitter. You know what I'm saying? We're not butthurt about women. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we understand female nature.
Yes.
We understand how they operate, but we're not here to just start demeaning women. No, women are very beautiful so long as they operate in their role.
Yes.
Right? But us men, we have to operate in our role.
Absolutely.
But getting back to the point, there's all this, the man versus the woman, and it's happening over and over, and it's just like, this is getting to the point where the fabric of society is literally being dismantled right before our eyes.
Yes. As divide and conquer. We have Democrats, Republican. You're gonna split people there. You're gonna have man versus woman. Now you're gonna add the community, the letter alphabet community, to all that to make a bigger division anymore. So what they're doing is they're dividing all the people to such a degree: white versus black, black versus Spanish, Spanish versus all the kind of different Spanish. They're gonna find a way to divide all the people because what? Then they can conquer all the people. So it's all part of a plan.
Yeah.
We can't just look at it as, just one aspect. They're breaking down society to its lowest denominator that it can possibly be, to where it's like, okay, folks don't even know what to think. Folks don't even know what direction to look at. Women don't know to look at men. Men don't care about the women. Nobody's worried about the children. You know what I mean? They're breaking it down. So then, whatever agenda the powers that be have out there to push forward, that's what they're going to come in with. So, to me, I see this as just a part of another play in their playbook to put this on the nightly news or whatever news station this came on. We watching this. Okay, woman gets beaten. She's talking. You guys watch the clip. She's talking, but you don't hear nothing.
Yeah.
I want to know what she's saying. Why did they have her mouth going, but they muted her? And then you hear the guy say he's saying something about Trump. He said, you heard a little bit. We got to go back and listen again. But he's saying something. You were able to hear him saying, and then the narrative is being controlled by everybody else who wasn't there. I want to know who was behind the camera. Was that a man or a woman? If it was a woman, I understand why she didn't go out there and try to do nothing but just say, this is the best I can do.
The station agent.
The station agent. If it was a man, believe it or not, I understand why he said back there and said, this is the best I can do. I can't get involved. I don't know what situation I may walk into. Again, you have to go, what happened? Did this guy really just have a mental break? Like they said, Did this woman do something? Did she say something? We don't know. So we just see somebody getting beat on, just like we have many times before. Women come, brick chick, this man just beat me, and her face is lumped up. Oh, go find out she's smacking white men. And based on what I saw in that video, I don't think that was an area where there was a whole bunch of white people. So she might have just tried something different with people that maybe look like us, and then therefore Brick happened to just be laying there, and now her face is lumped up, and now she's in the hospital. Who knows?
Anyway, if you found any value in this video, please like, subscribe, comment down below. I definitely want to hear the comments though. Like, did you agree with our sentiments towards this? And what do you think about this whole thing? I mean, a man beating on a 60-year-old woman for 3 minutes? I mean, this shit is crazy, y'all.
Yeah.
Alright, with that being said, Nick, TJ, over and out. The message sent. Jesus is king, y'all.